All right, awesome. My name's Peter. I'm going to be running an activity with us in just a moment. Today, we're going to be doing an activity from our NISE partners, folks at the National Informal Science Education Network. They create a lot of the activities we've been doing on Zoom lately, and we're going to be doing something called Imagining Life. You don't need a lot of materials for today's activity. You'll need something to draw with, so markers, or I have a whole bunch of colored pencils. Those will work too. And then if you want, you could print out the drawing sheet, which Jen, if you want to share that now, I'll have Jen post it in our chat. If you don't have the drawing sheet though, you don't need to worry about it too much. You can use a regular blank piece of paper. That'll work just fine too. And if you need to collect those materials, you can go ahead and grab those last few things while Jen talks about how to use Zoom. All right, so as I said, we're going to be doing an Imagining Life activity. So we're going to think about what life might look like if we discovered some not on Earth. So right now, we do not know about any life in other planets or on moons or anything, but scientists think there's a good chance we might find some in the future. And a good place to start thinking about what life might look like is to think about what life looks like on our planet right now. We need certain things on our planet and in our environment to survive. We need perfect conditions for us to do really well. Does anyone know anything we need in our environment for us to be comfortable and to survive? Can anyone think of anything?
Emily? Oh, Molly's screen. You guys got some ideas. Do you want to tell us?
We need food to survive.
Nice. We need some things to eat, some food. That would be really helpful. That's a good place to start. Any other things we might need to survive? I see someone else on Molly's screen.
We need water.
We need water. That's right. We need to be able to drink water. Any other things we think we might need besides food and water? Those are good places to start. Arlo, do you have your hand up?
Yes, I think we could add people in houses, because you need houses to live, store your food, and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Sometimes we need some place to live, and houses make it comfortable. And one thing houses do is we help control our own temperature, because we don't want it to be too hot or too cold, right? You couldn't live someplace where it's super hot or super cold.
Somebody on Molly's screen has another idea.
We need our brains.
We need some brains, yeah. So when we imagine some life, maybe we'll think about what their brains look like too. That's a good idea.
All right, we got another idea here. You've got your virtual hand raised. Gordon's screen.
Do you have an idea, Gordon?
No.
That's okay. Vivian, how about you? Do you have an idea?
Oxygen.
Oxygen, that's really good. We need some oxygen to survive. We probably couldn't survive somewhere where there wasn't oxygen.
That's great. Jacob and Jerome, did you have another idea?
Sunlight.
Yeah, maybe we need some light. We couldn't survive in the dark because a lot of the stuff we eat, because I think the first person said we needed some food to survive. A lot of it needs sunlight. Awesome. These are all really good ideas. How about, do you think there are some places on Earth? Or could we survive everywhere on our planet? I see some heads saying no. So could you think of a place where you wouldn't want to try to live?
Molly's screen, do you want to say something? Oh, I'm trying to unmute you.
They have to unmute themselves, I think, Jen.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, Arlo, do you want to share?
I don't think you want to live in the desert because you need water to survive, and there's no water in the desert.
Yeah, so someplace really dry and hot like the desert would be hard for you to survive. Some people live there now, but that's because they built homes like you mentioned before, Arlo. That's a good idea. How about you, Vivian? Your hand is up. Do you have an idea of someplace you wouldn't want to live?
Oops. Vivian, do you want to unmute yourself?
The Arctic.
The Arctic. Yeah, it's really cold there. That's a good idea. Let's get one more idea of someplace where you wouldn't want to live. I think I see Philip, your hand
do you
is
want
up.
to unmute yourself?
You can't live in space.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, we could not live in space. So space, besides space right now, there are actually organisms or things that, living things in all of those places that we already listed. And I'm going to share my screen right now so we can look at some different things that live in these places. Can everyone see the animals I'm showing? Yeah, awesome. So on the left, you see something called the POMPEII worm. It's kind of creepy and kind of gross, but it's also really cool. And it can live at the bottom of the ocean where there's some really hot water and vents coming out. It's almost like a little volcano coming out of the bottom of the ocean. We probably couldn't live there, but they're adapted to. Someone else mentioned the Arctic. Oh, looks like my screen stopped sharing. I'll try it again.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I will try to share us again. All right. Someone mentioned the Arctic earlier, but also it's super cold in the Antarctic, which is all the way down on the South Pole. And there are animals called emperor penguins that can live there. And they've adapted to live in a really cold environment. I'm going to move down a little bit. There are these things on the left called a rushing fireberry. It's a little thing called a microbe, so it's microscopic, and it lives in deep sea volcanoes. It's adapted. Let's look at a couple more things. There's something on the right called an amazing snotite. That's a pretty cool name. It looks sort of like snot, and it lives in really dark caves where there's no light. So there's lots of different organisms that can live in places that we can't live. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, but Jen, if you want, you can share. We have a whole bunch of different organisms like that we can share, and you can read more about them. But there are special scientists who try to think about what life might look like in space, and they're called astrobiologists. And astrobiologists use what we know about organisms that live in extreme places on Earth to think about what things might look like in space. I see a lot of hands up, though. Let's see, Molly, do you want to share your idea? Do you have a comment or a thought? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Can you unmute yourself, Molly?
Go.
My name is Fuss, and we can't live in the North Pole.
We probably couldn't live right at the very North Pole, really, without a house especially. That's really cold. Good idea. Do we have any other comments? Maybe some of those animals that we just saw? How about you, Emily? So your hand was up. Do you still have a thought? No, that's okay.
Jacob and Jerome, did one of you have something?
A tardigrade is a animal that can survive extreme heat, extreme pressure. It can survive in space without any air for up to 9 days.
Yeah, tardigrades are really tiny. They look like little bears, sort of, I think. But they are tiny little microscopic animals or organisms that can survive in extreme places like that. Good point. Does anyone else have any other comments that they want to make? I see Vivian, your hand is up.
Go ahead and unmute yourself, Vivian, if you can.
That's okay. We can come back to you later, Vivian, if you want. Liam, I see your hand is up. Do you want to share something?
Go ahead and unmute yourself, Liam.
Why does everybody think that aliens are real? There might actually be some life on Mars. Yeah. They found a little bit of water, so there might be some life on Mars. Yeah.
So
they just don't know for sure yet. There's still arguments going on about it, though. Yeah, sometimes I think aliens live on Mars, but sometimes they do.
Well, I think that's a great question, and it leads us to our next activity. So thank you, Liam. So we're going to imagine what life might look like on another planet. So now we can actually get into the fun drawing stuff. So I'm gonna tilt my camera down. So if you have this sheet printed out, you can use that. You can also use a blank piece of paper. Any of that will work. And our first step is we want to draw what our alien environment might look like. So whether it's a planet or a moon or something, we have this whole space and we're gonna draw what the environment and the planet looks like first. So you could think about what the world looks like. So is it really hot or is it really cold? Is it really dry like a desert or is it really wet like snow, or maybe it's an ocean? Is it close to the sun? Is it far from the sun? You can draw your environment. I'm gonna draw my environment first. And my printer didn't include the little things that we had in the printout template page. But I'm gonna draw a little moon in the corner here because I wanna be able to see the stars. And I'm gonna color that in. I'm gonna make my planet be underwater because I know I wouldn't wanna live underwater, but maybe there's a planet out there with some oceans. So I'm gonna draw the waves of my oceans. I'm gonna color it in. I'm just adding some water here. You can make your planet look like whatever you want, though. Think about some of those harsh environments that we might find off of Earth that maybe we wouldn't want to live in, but something else could live in. I'm gonna add some rocks down here, just because it's nice to have some rocks at the bottom. What are other people adding to their drawings? Does anyone have something they want to share about their planets? I'm gonna tilt my camera up.
Elizabeth, do you wanna unmute yourself and share?
So, well, because I am holding a baby, I thought like I wouldn't do it. So.
Okay.
You didn't want to draw? That's okay.
You can do it later. Violet and Forrest, do you want to share something that you drew?
So my name is Violet, and in mine, it's a big moon in outer space, and some have fire and some don't. And some are
So some are super hot and fiery.
yeah. And some are snowy.
I have ocean and the moon and the sun and water and a little creature. It's a sea alien in the sea.
Oh, cool. You're jumping ahead, which is awesome. So we're going to draw some aliens in a second too, but I'm glad you're already thinking about it. Arlo, do you want to share what your environment looks like? What did you include?
Well, Peter, I did not really want to share my environment, even though it's the moon. I have an idea for a creature under your water.
For my planet?
Yeah, you could have a glowworm.
A glowworm. Oh, cool. So would it look sort of like that POMPEII worm I showed earlier that lives at the bottom of our ocean?
No, it kind of like is glowing, and it has these little when it gets scared, it shoots these little green bombs out of its mouth to warn other creatures to back off.
I like that. Maybe I'll include that as my alien in a minute. I like that idea. Thank you, Arlo. Elizabeth, did you have something you want to share now? Maybe an idea for a planet or something?
Do you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, Elizabeth?
You can just do the Earth on, like, you can do the Earth on one and then just you could do space on the other.
Yeah, so you're talking about I have two different drawings on my sheet, so maybe I could do a totally different thing on this other one, which you are welcome to do if you want to draw a separate environment. Thank you for that. All right, so if you have your environment drawn already, now you can jump ahead, and some of us have already started thinking about them, but I'm going to tilt my camera down. We can start thinking about what the alien that's able to survive on our planet might look like. So you could think about how it's able to overcome some of that harsh environment that you've drawn. Does it have any special abilities or adaptations that lets it live there? Is it really big? Is it really small? Maybe think about what it eats. So let's see. So Arlo suggested I draw a glowworm. So maybe I'm going to draw a couple aliens for my space. And I'm not sure if I have the same idea about what a glowworm looks like that Arlo has, but I'm going to draw my version of a glowworm. Little worm here. It's hard to see. I know I'm drawing something, but I'm going to color it in yellow because I want it to be glowing. And you can draw whatever alien you think would fit well in your environment.
Elizabeth, did you have something you want to share while we're drawing?
Like, yellow looks like it's glowing, so I would do that.
Yeah. So this is what I ended up doing for my glowworm. Sort of a yellow worm, and then I drew some zigzag orange lines to make it look like it's even more glowy. Is that sort of what you were picturing, Arlo, when you described it?
I was kind of describing it like a little more like skilly like that, but like a little round on the bottom, like kind of attached, like a real worm, but it glows and it lives under water.
Cool. What other things have folks drawn that can live in their environments? I bet we didn't all draw worms, although maybe we did.
Do you want to share something? Looks like you've got something to share.
Yes. So I drew some lines that are the earth and hot lava in a person on this side.
That's great. Elizabeth, did you have some suggestions of things you want to share?
And like, you could also add an eye, so like, because it can't see without eyes.
Oh, so maybe to my glowworm I add some eyes. I like that idea. Maybe I'll add a little.
How about just one, because the other's on the other side? That would look weird.
So
and also a half of a smile.
I like that. I went ahead and I liked your suggestion, so I sort of drew. It's hard to see, but there's a little eye and a smile on mine.
Does anybody else have anything they want to share?
Jacob and Jerome, I saw you commented about being like water bears, like those tardigrades. Did you end up drawing something like a tardigrade?
No, but I draw 3 planets and 3 different creatures that I think that they are definitely made up of that.
Cool. Do you want to share them?
There's one planet that has like these fire animals that can survive in this giant planet. This planet that's always on fire.
Oh, wow.
Volcanoes too.
They can live in volcanoes.
The ice planet can melt because it's near the fire planet.
Yeah, it'd be hard to be an ice planet right next to a fire planet for sure.
Not, it just still gets a little heat, so it. Yeah. There's like a worm that can tunnel through ice.
So that lives on the ice planet. We are very worm-centric today, and that's cool. There's a lot of really interesting worms out there.
This planet is all with forests and vines. So we have this creature that eats plants that can bite through the vines so it can get through and basically make a home.
That's awesome. Adapting to its environment. Philip, I saw you were holding up a drawing. Do you want to share it with us again? I couldn't quite tell what it was because my screen's so small.
Do you want to unmute yourself, Philip?
You're still muted, Philip. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
So my aliens are in space on an orange planet, which is just like a regular planet, and the green planet is just like a grass planet, and it's really hot where they are because the sun's right next to them.
Cool. What do the aliens look like? How are they able to live on that planet?
They're able to live on the planet because the green is the grass. Well, they're kind of made out of grass, so So they're always on the grass. They just are always on fire, so it doesn't really matter. So they're always fine.
Cool. Who else has some drawings or some ideas they want to share? Any others?
Horace, did you want to share something else?
So I have the sun and a little glowing snowman.
Oh, so there's a the snowman is the alien?
Yeah, and the sun is and snowman is the enemy of the sun.
Cool.
Liam, did you have something you wanted to share? Oops, sorry. Liam? Or go ahead.
Yeah, I drew 2 tiny aliens, and then I had the color at the end, and there's like multiple stars, but they're the color of their sky is going to be like sunset looking color, and they built their houses differently, and they have like these weird type of houses, and they have like spacecrafts instead of cars, and they have like tiny islands.
Cool. I like that. That's our first time thinking about how an alien might have an adaptation, but it's something like us where we're building things to protect ourselves.
Yeah, they have a weird roof, and then there's weird windows, triangle doors and stuff. But like for us, we built like square or like long houses and stuff. But for them, they built like rectangle houses with these weird roofs. Like they're not pointed, they're down, slant, up, and a bunch of different crazy ways.
That's awesome. That sounds really cool. All right. Does anyone else want to share? There's Liam. Is your hand up again as well? I can't. Your screen's a little bit laggy. Let's see.
Mine with 2 papers. This one has one alien, water, and it's called Mars. And this one has 2 aliens and the baby alien, which I have not drawn. This is the husband. This is the wife. And this is the house.
I can't see it.
And that is a different planet. It is a planet that has trees in it. It's called the crystal planet. Yeah, because I'm going to make a crystal tree in it.
Nice. All
You know,
right.
the alien.
Oh. All right. So you can, the nice thing is, like I said, I have a whole extra sheet on mine. Maybe you have more, or if you have paper, I think Jacob and Jerome were drawing their own squares out, which works too. But you can keep thinking about different environments that you might see in space and then thinking about what aliens could live there. Violet, I see your hand is up. Do you want to share something?
This is my aliens planet.
Whoa.
Rooms and cold rooms, and one's with the beach and one's with the snowman. And these are all alien invasion ones. And this is Gloomy Co, and he's in a dome, and this is Papa Greenie, and their domes are the houses. And this is Lavaco. And
I love that.
And he captured the sun. And the sun's crying because he doesn't want to be captured.
Oh man, that's a sad son, but that's a really cool planet.
That's the moon.
Dwyer, do you want to explain your drawing?
Go ahead and unmute yourself, Dwyer. Can you unmute yourself?
Yep, they're unmuted now.
Oh, great.
Do you want to explain it? You don't have to, that's okay.
That's fine.
It looked really cool. All right, so if you want to share some of your drawings later, you can get your parents' help and you can post some pictures of your drawing on our Facebook page. You can post it as a comment, and then we'll all get to see what your planets look like, and you can write a little description of your aliens. If you want to learn more about how astrobiologists are thinking about what life could be like in space, I'm going to ask Jen to share a link. There's a video there that you can watch, and it's from a NASA scientist, and they're going to explain how they look for life in space and sort of how they do similar activities like this to imagine what they might be able to find there. thank you so much for joining us. Tomorrow, if you want to join us at 10:30, we're going to have a brand new activity. We're going to be doing a self-popping bag. Is that right, Jen? Is that what we're doing?
Yep, that's right. So we're going to have a bag and we're going to make a little explosion with chemistry. So that should be really fun.
Guys,
Yeah?
Yeah, do you want to share something, Arlo?
I think I'm going to say goodbye.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming, Arlo. I think we're probably all going to say goodbye now, unless someone has something else they want to share. Forrest, do you want to say one last thing?
Oh, let me just unmute you. Go ahead. Yeah.
I watched my planet and an alien with a lot of legs and a lot of arms, and this is his home.
Nice. You drew the alien and their home. That's perfect.
I am on a spawny planet.
Cool.
That's great. Violet, did you have something you wanted to share too?
Thank you for doing this.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for coming, Violet. And thank you so much, everyone else, for joining us today. Hopefully, we'll see you all tomorrow, and keep drawing and imagining what life could be like.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, science friends.
Thank you.